It's like this. What would you do if you only had 15 minutes to complete an analysis before some executives have to make some sort of a decision that's going to affect the future of the company? Well, it's not super common that you're going to be put in such a quandary, but hey, crazier things have happened, right? And in this video, I'm going to put myself in an equally ridiculous situation. Actually, I'm going to do something that I should have done a long time ago, say about 3 years ago. Here's what happened 3 years ago. This little company called Google decided to release the Data Analytics Professional Certificate Program. When they did that, I signed up, me and a lot of other people, because it was all the rage. It was getting a lot of excitement. People were really interested to see what they would do, if they would actually revolutionize education with this program. They were really pushing it hard. And I came out, I took all of the modules, I made videos documenting the ins and the outs of each of the sections. And in the end, my takeaway was generally positive. I thought it was a really good introduction to the program. And you can go back and watch all of the things that I said about the program. I was positive on it. I thought that it was pretty good. Now that it's been 3 years, a lot of people have added their comments, given feedback, and I think the overwhelming reality of the situation has come to settle on me, which is the course was fine for an introduction. The course did not prepare truly beginner people for the work of an analyst. I don't know that that's controversial to say. I think that there was a lot of us, people like me, who might have been a little bit jaded by our own experience and not given credit to the idea of what it's like to be brand new in this space. Like, I'm comfortable dealing with ambiguity. I'm comfortable dealing with large data sets. I'm comfortable thinking critically about business situations and muscling my way through these things. So when I looked at the case studies that came at the end of this thing, I wasn't off put. And I see now that a lot of people were, and that everybody kind of came to the end and felt like they were unprepared. They didn't know where to start. They were overwhelmed. It was too ambiguous, all the things. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to set play or go on a timer I've set for 15 minutes. And I am going to attack track number 1, case study 1, the cyclistic bike share analysis. I only talked about this in the video that I did reviewing the course when I got to the capstone. I didn't actually do it. I downloaded some of the data, I looked at some of the data, I thought about it, and that was it. I talked about that. Today I'm going to do something with it. And I haven't practiced. This has been just an idea I've had for a long time. And today is the day I'm going to jump in and see what I can do. 15 minutes is a little bit arbitrary, but I just know that I don't want this to drag on. So if I force myself to try to be confined to 15 minutes, that'll be great. And I will tell you that the only pre-work that I've done for this whole thing is 3 years ago when I went through the course and I looked at the data, and just about 15 minutes ago, I went online and downloaded the last 12 months of data so that I would at least have something to start with. And I think the presumption here is that if you're working at a company, you have access to that data. You know, you're not going to be going to a website and downloading a bunch of data necessarily. Maybe I'm being naive in that, but here's the deal. Let's go ahead and jump on the screen, and I'm going to try not to dilly-dally. I want to get just cut to the chase and get going. So here's the deal. Here was my course review 8 of 8 capstone case study and full program impressions. This is the case study that we're going to be attacking right here. I'm going to read this to you, or you can hit pause and read it yourself if you don't want to hear my voice. But it says, this is an opportunity to analyze historical bicycle trip data in order to identify trends. Understanding how casual riders behave differently from riders with paid memberships is important. This analysis will help executives to make decisions about marketing programs and strategies to convert casual riders to riders with annual memberships. Okay, that's it, right? So if I'm going to just take a step back from that on its own, they want us to look and find trends in the data. Okay, big surprise there. But they want to use it to see if they can understand behavioral differences or just general differences between casual riders and membership riders so that they can convert the casuals to members. All right. That's important context. You always want to be thoughtful of like, what are they trying to get at? What is their objective? Because that's going to help us be thoughtful as we're working through this. Now, in order to get your hands on the data, you go here. It's Divvy. That I'll put a link in the video description. But this is public. It's a real company, by the way, Divvy. They exist in Chicago, and you'll see that in the data. I think, if I remember, there's like one of the data points was where like the stations, like the location of the stations where they pick up and drop off. We'll see if that's changed, but it's in Chicago. It's a real company. I think it's owned by Lyft. And you can come in here and just download the data. There's a ton of data. I'm not going to download all of it. I just want to look at the trailing 12 months because I think that's going to be good enough. It's going to be recent enough that I should be able to deduct something. And again, to save time, I've already downloaded the data. And if you look, these are pretty big files. And I think that that's important to note. I've actually got one of them open right here. And I'm not going to start exploring until I hit play on or go on the timer. So you know what? We're here. We're in it. I'm just going to do it. Let's do it. 3, 2, 1. Ready, go. Okay. This is the data. I'm just going to go Control Shift. 821,000 rows of data. Good to know. That's a lot of data. And okay. Oh, so let's just look at the columns. I'm going to go Alt HSF. That's going to add drop downs. And this says rideable type. Alt down. Classic bikes, electric bikes, and scooters. Okay, so we see what type of bike or apparatus they're using. We see this looks like a time date stamp for started, time date stamp for ended. This is all crappy format, CSV. Okay, start station name. We got a bunch of blanks. Ooh, incomplete data. Let's highlight this. 632,000 rows. Okay, so we're missing about 200,000 rows of data here. Start station name, start station ID, in station name, in station ID, start lat. Is this latitude and longitude? You could probably do some pretty cool geo analysis just with this data. I'm not gonna mess with that. I don't know that there's value in that. I think having start and end times over here, like you can deduce how long people are taking the bikes for. I mean, unless they're charging by the mile, which I don't know that they are. Maybe they are. I don't know. Well, even if I had the distance here, yeah, I'm not going to mess with the latitude and longitude. That's just too in the weeds for me right now. I'm also not even sure that I want to mess with the station names because I feel like this is just here to throw you, right? They're going to have stations where there's people. And they're going to have stations where there's people using them. Like if we were being asked to figure out like, hey, we need to cut down, we need to remove some of our stations and like upgrade other stations, we need to do something about that, I might be digging into this. I think for purposes of figuring out what the difference is between members and casuals, like you may see that members go to some stations and casuals go to others. That could be interesting, but like we're not marketing to stations or street corners, right? You're marketing to people. So where are the people? Who are the people? Okay, let's take a step back here. Like, if you're investing in a membership, an annual membership for something, like you're committed, you're there, you're using the thing. If you're casual, there's a reason that you're casual. Like the membership doesn't make sense to you. And when you think about a town like Chicago, like you have a lot of tourists. You have seasons when people are like probably just not using the bikes. We'll find out when we look at the data. There's a lot of reasons why people might not want to use one of these things for a membership. So I'm super curious to know. It said straight up in the description, like an annual membership versus casual. So I would just straight out the gates without even investigating anything. Why aren't there more membership options? And maybe there are, I don't know, but based on what they've given us, there's not. So like you go to any town with a good metro, I mean, Chicago's probably an example. You go down to buy a ticket and you're going to get like an all day pass or a 3-day pass or a weekend pass or a 1-week pass or a 1-month pass. Like, those are ways to lock people in and get them seeing some value. You gotta meet people where they are. And if you're thinking in terms of like how to get in front of these people, like what the heck, like where are they? You could go to their homes. That's ridiculous. Like mailers, that's really expensive. You go to hotels, right? If you're trying to convert travelers or people, like go to hotels and offer incentives for people to do like a weekend thing if they're traveling. Go to offices and market to the businesses and try to incentivize employees to use this thing. Like the companies around California, we do that like for carpooling and things like that. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's do something with this data. My game plan here is to use Power Query to pull all this data together. It's gonna be a lot of data. I'm gonna kill like this column. I'm gonna use these columns. I'm gonna kill all of this. I don't want to mess with any of this right now. And then I'm gonna keep this. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go, what do? Close it, don't save. I'm gonna go open Excel, fresh book. We're gonna go data, get data, from file, from folder. And I'm gonna go to downloads, bike data, open. Oh God, I just talked for 5 minutes. I've only got 10 minutes left. Combine and transform data. Oh no, this is not going well. Okay, this looks like what I just had. This is our sample file, first file. Okay, I'm gonna hit okay, and we'll see how it comes out. And see if any hangers coming out over here. No, it looks good. Looks really good. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to right away just do what I just said. I'm going to kill these columns. I'm going to kill all these columns because this is just too distracting. Remove. And anybody who's out there freaking out because I'm just like throwing away data, chill. Okay, it's okay. We only got 15 minutes to save the world. There's only so much you can do. Okay. I'm going to add a couple of columns. So at the started at, I'm going to go add column. I want to know the month. I want to know the day, name of day, actually. I want to know the hour. That'll be interesting. The hour. And I want to know, let's do a custom column. I want to know how long these people are using the thing. So I'm going to go ride time. So this should be, what is it? The ended at minus started at, okay. This is, what does this say? They went from 10:36 a.m. to 10:49. That's what, 12 or 13 minutes? 12, perfect, okay. So this is working. I don't like how that is though. I don't like how that's, I'm going to change this. I want it to be a number. I don't like it showing up like that. I think if you use your timestamps, you can multiply by 24 and 60. Oops, not an equal, enter, okay. And that gave me what? Added column. Oh, I want to change this to a decimal. Yes, okay, so that's minutes, like in hard numbers. Now, that's too much data. I need to bucket these. So I'm gonna go add a column, conditional column, where if ride time is less than or equal to, let's go with, how long are people using this thing? Like 10 minutes, then under 10, add clause. Let's add like 3 buckets or 4 buckets. Ride time is less than or equal to, I hate using my mouse this much, less than or equal to 30, and it's going to be 10 to 30, 60, 30 to 60. What I'm doing is just creating a bucket here. I actually don't need this one. Delete. Then if it's over 60, creating buckets so that I can, like, it's almost like a histogram in a way, but I'm just eyeballing this, so maybe I messed it up, but that should be good. Home, remove that column. Okay. that just creates buckets. It's going to make it easier for me to do something with this. I can also get rid of these now. And now I can just group all of this, right? So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go group by all of those things, count rows, beautiful. Okay. So now I'm basically like deduping all of the possible combinations, and it should give me a count of how often those things came up. And at that point, I should have like culled the data down sufficiently that I can do something with it to manipulate in Excel quickly and hopefully figure some things out. We've only got 5 minutes left. So time is moving fast. I rambled for 5 minutes. I manipulated for 5 minutes. Now I'm going to have 5 minutes basically to do some sort of analysis. That's assuming that this thing does what it needs to do, because you saw that first file was over 800,000 rows. There's 12 files. So this is millions of rows of data, and you know, Power Query is going to power through it. I'm confident about that. It's more a matter of how long is it going to take. I should have, see, this is one of the benefits. If I had actually tested this, I would know how long I need to ramble for in order to figure this out. Oh, it knows I'm talking about it, so it went. Good boy. All right, close and load. Load 2. I just have a habit of adding to the data model table. No time to waste. Let's do it. And it's going to take a second while it retrieves and posts it. Now it's taking all of those transformations. It's getting all the data. It's going to drop it in here. I don't know how long this is going to take, but I guess while we wait, I don't want to alarm you, but I'm going to use pivot tables. Okay. I know I made a video talking smack on pivot tables, but they have a time and a place. And if there was ever a time and a place, this is it, because I need something quick. I need to be able to rifle through the data. If I had more time and I needed to give a proper presentation, I'm not going to present a bunch of pivot tables. I would like put nice schedules together, make sure that what I'm putting in front of people is something that I would be proud to present. That's my whole point. Like, I got so many people getting super defensive about those videos. To each their own. Do what you got to do. I'm not telling you don't use pivot tables. I'm telling you why I have tried to refine my end deliverable work product and how that's helped me in my career. The more opportunities you have to do that, the better off you'll be. And here we are. We're ready to rock and roll. Okay. So I'm actually going to just get rid of that. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go Alt N SC, enter, enter. There we go. So I just kicked off a pivot table, pivot chart. Let's slice and dice. Let's get it going. First thing I want to see, oh God, what do I want? Count in values. That's a lot of bike rides. That's a lot of bike rides. Okay. I want to see by month. Look at that. Chicago. What would you expect? Nice season, more rides. Colder season, I'm shocked there's any rides. You've actually got 144,000 people in January riding their bike. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of bike rides. Okay. Good to know. Let's see how this compares to member versus casual. I'm going to stretch this out. Distribution's pretty, I mean, those are almost equal. There's just more members than casuals. And I mean, I guess that's a good thing. I assume that over time, this number overtook this number. Good. Okay. Good to see. I don't know what else to do with that other than, okay, cool. You got more people who are riding in the summers. Maybe that means that we can tell them, hey, if you're looking to get in front of more people where this is relevant to them, do it during the summer season or the nicer season, or start marketing to them like right around here, right before it picks up, so it's in their head and they're aware. Because if you're trying to market to them in January, they're going to think you're crazy and they're going to want you to go away. Okay, 2 minutes. Writable type. Let's get rid of the month. Writable type. Is there anything interesting here? Scooters. There's, oh yeah, there's scooters. The distribution between bike and electric is almost even. I don't know if that's a supply thing. I don't know if it's a preference thing. I suspect it's a supply thing. I think there's probably just the same number, so same number of people use. The scooters are interesting. What if I go back to month? What? They just started using scooters in September. That's why. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Members are using electric bikes more. Casuals are split pretty evenly. This, I mean, it's not super material from optics. Okay. I don't know if there's anything interesting there. I don't care about the type. Let's look at the day. Let's look at the day. Day name. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Oh, look at this. This is interesting. Okay, hold up. So members are using it during the week more than the weekends, and casuals are using it on the weekends. That kind of like confirms one of our suspicions that you've got the weekend riders, the weekend warriors, and the people who are like sticking around. They're actually going to work. Okay, let's look at the time. Actually, let's go day name hour. Oh, I don't like. Why did I do this? Let's go over here. There we go. Ha. Yep. Okay. So this is hours in the day up to 24. So look, there's a spike here and there's a spike here for members. These people are going to work. People are using this to ride to work. Casuals, they're just like, it's going to peak around maybe afternoon dinner. So like, these are tourists. They're just people out riding around on the weekend. Okay. I think I've seen enough. Like this is, what is custom? What did I do with this? Oh, it's the buckets. Yeah. How much are people using? I didn't name this thing. Oh, goodness. The overwhelming majority of people are using these for, oh, I'm out of time. Crap. Well, okay. Boom. Time's up. Beautiful music. Dismiss. Okay. 15 minutes. We've sliced and diced this data. So first 5 minutes, we were talking about, thinking about, considering the situation. Next 5 minutes, we were slicing up the data to transforming the data to get it in a useful form. Like call it cleaning, call it whatever. We did that. Last 5 minutes, we just went through several different pivots to make observations. I think the key takeaways at this point are, and this is the last one, the overwhelming majority of people are using these things for under 30 minutes. Like these are fairly short trips. And you got to think like most people using a bike anywhere. So maybe I cut the data too wide, whatever. We can go back and fix that. I don't know that I care. This just confirms that they're not taking these on long trips. They're not taking them out for long periods of time. Most people are using this from point A to point B, and over the majority are under 10 minutes, but you've got a handful that are on the 10 to 30 bucket. I'd be curious to know how close to 30 minutes those are. Maybe they're all like 12 to 15. Maybe like 98% are under 15 minutes. I don't know. But this tells you right there that, okay, these people are taking short rides. If we go back and look again at the months, the distribution seasonally is identical, casual versus members. The time that people are using this does vary, only that members are riding in the mornings. And I suspect that the reason that this number is lower than this number is you might have people who it's so cold in the morning, maybe they're taking a cab, maybe they're on the metro, they're doing something where they're not out in the elements. But then you've got people up here. Oh, interesting. I wonder, I'm supposed to be done by now, but like if we just do the month, like what if it's a nice month, like July? Nope, it holds still. So for whatever reason, more people are using it here. Maybe they get to work and they're like, hey, I'm going to go ahead and ride a bike out somewhere and meet people for drinks or dinner. And then they come back and ride. I don't know what it is, but they are commuting. These people are commuting. These people are less likely commuting. Casual versus members. We looked at the types, what they're riding. Scooters just showed up. Bikes and electric, or classic and electric, are pretty equally distributed. The days of the week, we saw that these people are using it on mostly during the week, less on weekends, a little bit on like Sundays they're not using it as much. And then the casuals are, oh wait, this is just July. Shoot, all. There we go. That's what I remembered. It's like this. I just hit my microphone. It's like this little wave, right? Where you've got the casuals are using it on the weekends, the members are using it during the week. So where do we go from here? What do we do with this information? I think we actually said a lot of the things that I would have wanted to say earlier while I was thinking and we were transforming the data. I believe you're not going to convince these casuals to get memberships if there's nothing in, like you look at the seasonal, like why would I sign up for a full year if I know that 6 months out of the year I'm not going to use this stupid thing? Let's go back to that. Let's go back to the let's get rid of the month. Let's get rid of this and go here. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, arguably 7 months that people are just, it's not that they're not, it's just that they're overwhelmingly less. Like you got 50% more usage during the nice season. So like, why offer, do a seasonal pass? Like do it for a 6 month, do it for 1 month, do some other form of memberships if you're wanting to convert people. And obviously, like, let's take even a step further back. Why would you want them to be a member? You just want their cash. You just want them to commit. You want them to give you dollars so that you have that and not have them be like one-offs. But guess what? You're going to have one-offs. And the reason you're going to have one-offs is because you're going to have people coming in just for the weekend on a trip. And if they look and all they have are an annual membership or a charge per drink, they're not going to sign an annual membership. But if you have a weekend package, if you have a 1 week package, you're going to get more out of those people, right? That would be like a thought exercise that I would love to work through with the teams, the marketing team, whoever else wants to talk about it. And then what we would want to do is figure out like, okay, is there other data? Is there more data that we could use to find this information out? Should we go survey people? Should we go hit up hotels and start offering brochures promoting a weekend warrior bike pass or whatever it is that we need to do? Little pockets where we could go test this out and see what happens. I think that is where I would go with this. And I want to be super clear. The whole intent behind this exercise is to get you a rep thinking about data, working with data, playing with data, coming up with a story, coming up with a narrative. And then if you really want to make the most out of this thing, do it, build it, polish it up, make a video. Make a video, like do something that other people don't do. Make a video, publish it on YouTube, or make it so that it's only people with a link can see it. And use that as an opportunity to put a little bit of yourself out there and talk through like what you did, why you did it, what you enjoyed, what you didn't like, what additional information you would want. And so that we can see how you think, how you interact with data, and how you think about business concepts. I think ultimately at the end of the day, that is what this is all about. People get so hung up on like, I don't know where to start and I don't know what to do with the data. I just did all that in Excel, okay? If you got Python or if you got R, if you got SQL, you could have like gone in and probably chopped the data up a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit more robust processing. I don't know. But seriously, just with a little bit of Excel, Power Query, and some Power Pivot or pivot tables, we came up with a lot of story points, a lot of different interesting bits of information that we could talk through. And if I saw somebody throw something like this together with a little bit more refinement on it, I would be totally cool. We could have a conversation about this thing. And that's the other part that I think a lot of people miss is like, they imagine they're going to get into an interview situation or someone's going to go look at their portfolio and just go like, here's your thing. It's not usually the way it works, right? It's going to be a dialogue. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to want to know why did you do what you did, how you did it, where you did it, why you did it, all the things. So I hope that this helped. I hope that you got some value watching me work through this thing. You see that you don't need a lot of time and you don't need a lot of resources in order to make something like this happen. You could do this with any data set. You can come up with any type of business question that you want answered, and you can make some magic happen. So I hope that helped. Thanks for watching.